The extrapyramidal system is a neural network in the central nervous system which contains feedback loops between the basal ganglia and the motor cortex. As we know, there are several parts that make up the basal ganglia. Some of these include the caudate, the putamen, globus pallidus, subthalamic nucleus, and the substantia nigra. The main function of the extrapyramidal system is to help regulate and modulate motion, as well as modulate size and force of movements. More specifically, the extrapyramidal system is involved in indirectly and involuntarily controlling motion that is involved with motor movements you don't even think about. For example, if you are seated in a chair right now watching this video, your extrapyramidal system is at work maintaining your equilibrium, posture, muscle tone, reflexes, and coordination to keep you sitting upright throughout the video. There are many inputs or efferents and outputs or efferents that make up the feedback loops within the extrapyramidal system. Some of the inputs come from different areas of the motor cortex, the substantia nigra, and the thalamus. These inputs then go to the caudate and the putamen. There are two different types of outputs or efferents that are involved in the extrapyramidal system, ascending and descending. The ascending outputs come from the globus pallidum and go to the thalamus and then to the cortex. This completes the loop between the basal ganglia and the motor cortex. The descending outputs come from the globus pallidus and go to the red nuclei and then to the spinal cord. Sometimes there are issues with the parts of the extrapyramidal system which causes issues with movement and motor function. Two of these disorders are Parkinson's disease and Huntington's disease. In Parkinson's disease, the substantia nigra in the midbrain degenerates, as seen here in this clip. As we learned earlier, the substantia nigra is an integral part of one of the inputs of the extrapyramidal system. If damaged, there will likely be problems with completing the feedback loop and result in some cardinal symptoms such as tremors, rigidity, bradykinesia, and postural instability. Huntington's disease is another extrapyramidal movement disorder, but is a little different from Parkinson's. Huntington's disease is an inherited condition in which nerve cells in the brain break down in the basal ganglia. More specific, they break down in the caudate nucleus and ventricles in the brain become larger. As you might imagine, some of the hallmark symptoms of Huntington's disease are related to movement, since it's a disorder of the extrapyramidal system. Early signs and symptoms of the disease are subtle, but as the disease progresses, there is a lack of coordination and unsteady gait.